What's happening, y'all? JR Raymond back again, and we have the Women's US Open on. And we're going to take a look at the first match, and we will talk about the first match, the bowlers, the styles, the releases, all of that stuff, and try to be critical so that way we can learn a little bit from these ladies. So, Women's US Open match number 1. Here we go.
9 days ago on Long Island at the BBL Classic, Danielle McEwen was the top seed. But in the championship match, she had not one, not two, but three 7-10 splits.
That was brutal to watch.
This week, she's back as the top seed, and the stakes could be any higher. It's the U.S. Women's Open. Beautiful Lake George in upstate New York is the gateway to the Adirondack Mountains, the queen of American lakes. Plenty of boating, fishing, and fun. Not far away, the Kingpins Alley Family Fun Center in South Glens Falls, where it's time for the second of three majors on the 2022 PWBA season, the U.S. Women's Open. 5 of the world's best bowlers are here competing for big prize money, the coveted green jacket, and a place in women's bowling history. Welcome, bowling fans. It's Dave Ryan alongside the Hall of Famer Carolyn Dorn. Valerie, we have step ladder finals tonight. In the first match, Erin Mcarthy looks for her first title of the year against Singapore's Shayna NG, each seeking their first career major.
So we've got Erin Mcarthy and Shayna.
Hall of Famer Shayna NG back on TV again. 2-seed Jordan Richard on TV for a second
Shannon O'Keefe seems to make every single show. Jordan Richards is back. Danielle McEwen, another one that makes a lot of shows.
The top seed, such tough breaks within 3 7-10 splits in the title match against Brianna Cote. How do you put that in the past and focus on this one match tonight?
Exactly that. It's behind me. I've used it as fuel to the fire all week to get me back here, and I'm just hoping for a little bit of luck on my side tonight.
Okay, and you mentioned that you're very happy physically where you're at with your bowling, but you did mention that you have a trigger that you use when you feel like you're getting a little bit out of tempo. What is that trigger?
I actually have a couple, so it'd be hard to go through them all, but I just know what they are. If it's feeling like this, it's that. If it's feeling like that, it's that. So I just go to them quickly and try to make good shots.
Thanks, Danielle. See you in the title match later on tonight.
All right, let me pause that because that's something you can really learn from, and that's something I really respect about her. I think that was a really good. She didn't give you her triggers of what they were, but those are things you got to really pay attention to. Because how many times do you see somebody that says, "Oh, my timing's off," or "This just doesn't feel right," and then they just go through the day struggling and they don't know how to fix it. You've got to really key in on these things in practice and try to understand. All right, if it's feeling like this, I have to change this to make that feel better and get back in time. So finding those triggers, for me, a lot of the times when I feel off and I feel like I'm getting grabby, it's because I'm not getting the ball into the swing fast enough. I need to actually push the ball away faster. I'm holding onto it too long, which is then making me grab at it. My swing gets steep and it gets grabby at the bottom of the swing. So I need to hold on, or I need to push it away just a little bit faster, and I'm good to go. So key in on those things when you're practicing in order to actually, fix the issues while you're bowling. I appreciate her saying that. That was good.
Well, this oil pattern was either fun for you or not fun for you. 38 feet, low volume of oil, 12 milliliters going forward, 6 back, a total of 18 milliliters of ice oil. Ice is known to carry down. The ladies had to begin starting around the track area, but had to get the ball to the right. There was absolutely no hold in the middle part of the lane. As they went from pair to pair, they opted to move in. Angles got steeper to get that ball back off the pattern. Now, here's the unique factor about this pattern. The middle part of the lane became the tester pair to pair. As the oil started to carry down, the middle part of the lane became very tight. So your ball either went too long or hooked early. That's what made spares so important this week.
You know what? Great job, Carolyn. We need to see more of that. We need Randy to do more of that and be a little bit more detailed and technical on what happened through the week. And I think a lot of the times Randy isn't there during the week, so he doesn't see the way the lanes are breaking down, transitioning, and what has actually happened. Carolyn did a really good job explaining that right there. These little details are what are important for people to learn, for people to be able to learn from these things. The people that are on TV are supposed to be the ones that are guiding and leading the way to teach the sport. And I love this graphic. I think it shows a really good idea of what we have. And her talking about the volumes, I think she could have maybe put it into perspective a little bit better. Maybe said, a typical league pattern is, between 25 and 30 milliliters, where this one is 18 and it's much shorter. You're seeing a lot of friction, but the type of oil created an awful lot of problems in the middle. The way it carries down, it made it seem like it was tighter down lane. When you got to the middle part of the lane where most of the volume is. So, but kudos to Carolyn. I think she did a great job actually, explaining that pattern out really well.
It is time to ball here in South Glens Falls, New York. The U.S. Women's Open title is on the line. First match, McCarthy and Hunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our number 5 seed from Elkhorn, Nebraska, Erin McCarthy.
A full-time nurse. Elkhorn, the Omaha area. Great college bowler at Nebraska. Busy lifestyle.
For such a small girl, she
nurse, full-time.
She puts on it pretty good.
Shifts. Not a lot of time for bowling. But she's back on TV. Her game back in gear. And
that's a lot of curve.
Shot for her first of the night. Leaves the 16.
Seemed a little grabby.
I definitely think we're going to see a little bit of this until, of course, the lanes just start to transition, as it does every time a ball goes down the lane. Already
Probably playing a hook stop type ball reaction on purpose.
We're going to see bowling balls that were maybe some strong balls, but not as much surface this week with such a low volume of oil. The ladies used less surface to get the ball through the front part of the lane.
Cross lane, 6-10, got that.
Just one of those rare situations where I won't be so critical about their hand position as far as being on top of it, because with such light volume, trying to control ball motion, getting the rev rate to come down a little bit is key. Using a dark code here from Shayna.
Teammate Sherry Tan was a winner there. She'll
Another
try to win here for the Team Singapore
pretty
tonight.
strong, powerful player.
As well. 6-9-10 left. Shayna's first shot.
And her hand gets in a pretty good spot.
Shayna taking a little bit of a deep breath after that shot. One of the things she has really worked on is being softer at the bottom. Her natural game is to hit up on it, actually kind of grab it just a little bit and hit up on it. And she said,
hitting up on it's not a good thing in today's game.
She had to be smoother and cleaner.
Covers nicely, has a spare. The last one early in the match is an open.
My focus this week, heading into the regionals in a couple of weeks, is going to be about getting my hand forward, control, because we're going to some very tough conditions.
Swing right here, which is fantastic. She has worked on that. But right here, go one more click on this fourth step. Go right here as she's getting into her fourth step. Her swing gets really high and really steep. When it gets too steep, that's when she really pulls down on it and hits up on it on the end.
1, 2, 8, 10.
See, when you get into these situations with shorter patterns,
gets this one way right.
I shouldn't even call it a shorter pattern. It's not really that short of a pattern, 38 feet, but it's such low volume, it forces you to go left, and it forces you to be forward and try to control the ball motion.
If you miss left, it hooked early.
You really can't throw it to the right. It's not going to recover.
That's how different they were, lane to
This
lane.
ball's going to hook stop. It's going to go straight at the back part of the lane.
Not easy cover.
Great spare.
How about that?
Great spare.
Shayna Hug, 1, 2, 8, 10. Not easy. And early on, it's the Cisco spare of the game. CDB, no doubt about that. Fantastic effort.
Look at this. Takes her hand out of it, hits to the left side of the head pin, slides it right over.
Confidence builder. Has to be for Shayna. Tough spare. Converts. Here's Erin, right lane. Got to really hurry. It does. And a good shot.
Pretty good shot.
Fantastic shot by Erin. Both of these ladies like to hook a ball. And let me tell you, they are very similar. When they did hook it, they get on the side of it just a little bit. But you can see here, Erin is way behind that ball. We talked about that, how they want to even out. Right here where that ball starts to enter this pocket, you're going to see a smooth motion. And that's what the ladies looked for. When they got into trouble and felt uncomfortable, the smoother the motion, the better.
Cross lane, single pin spare conversion, have the 10 pin, no problem there. Of experience, U.S. Women's Open TV show, CDB, third place in 2017 and 2018. From Kingspin Valley Family Fun Center, Dave, Carolyn, our entire crew, great to have with us here from the greater Albany, New York area. It's about 50 minutes north.
Pretty low scoring
of New York's
affair,
capital city.
averaging 210.
Left lane for Erin.
See that stop?
Looks good.
Trying to control it. Not trying to get your hand around it too much, because then that continues in big fours or whatever.
Here, visit the official online
Just
store
trying to control the
of
pocket.
PWBA at shoppwba.com.
That generally brings the scores down because your carry percentage goes down. When your ball doesn't continue through the pins, you start to see
I may
deflection.
just pick up a few teddy bears for all the kids.
It makes it a little tougher to get those corners out, but when their lanes are tough like this, you'd rather leave a corner pin than a big four.
Great match play record. 56 games, this long, grueling
See,
format.
same type of ball motion, hook stop.
Perfect shot in the
Watch a
right
hook
lane
and
for
then just
Shayna
kind of go
that
straight through the
shot,
pins.
compared to her last two, her swing got to the top, came down much smoother, much quicker off her hand. Watch that, right behind it, fires through it, but look at the motion. Again, this spot seems to be where the ladies are trying to get their ball to for that smooth motion. And watch this, it just, everybody said it last night, I wanted my ball to stop as much as possible, and that was perfect.
2 career titles. 2018 Las Vegas Open, 2019 in Rohnert Park, California. So it's been a while. 2-10 split. A tough break there with
That's
a 4-10.
tough.
Yikes.
Shayna made a ball change, stronger ball than the ball she was using on the right lane and the ball she used on her last shot. Revs up just a little bit sooner. And she
It's kind of
pays-
tough. That could have
honestly,
very,
that I
very
thought would
easily
be
been just a 4-pin.
That's a high 4-pin. She pays the ultimate price, leaving the 410.
Those breaks are ones that's like, oh, they're killer.
Saw the washout conversion.
Great job.
How about that? Shayna NG, not one but two
That's pretty
fantastic
sick.
conversions. The 410 this time to stay clean in match number 1.
Pretty sick right there.
Look at this. Does exactly what she needs to do. Hits to the left of the 4-pin. And
These are things you
slides
gotta,
over
when you
like
bowl in
it
US
had
Open,
eyes.
Man.
spares mean everything, man.
I mean, we are seeing some amazing spare shooting. All 5 bowlers we talked to today said the spare conversions on this very tough pattern. Open this year. It is a grueling grind to get this far.
Oh boy.
Right lane for Erin. Wants it to hook. Doesn't quite hook
See,
it off. It needs a 2-pin.
that's
You
what
heard
you
her say
need
that?
right there.
She let the
That's
ball go. She
important.
said, hook.
Throwing
Again,
out
she
the
got
window and
way
only
right.
2-pin, that's a good break right there.
Yep.
Whereas like
Let's take a
Shayna
look right
threw
here.
in marginal.
She gets it going right
and
a little
410s.
bit earlier. And here, the spot they're looking for is about right here. This is way out around that 5-6 board. And it just does not come back as strong as it did the last time. But again, here's what the ladies were saying last night. Even on the bad shots, if you could leave a 2-pin, it was spareable. It was a makeable spare. And you wanted to manage those games and have the 180s, 190s. You still had a chance to win the match. And those bonus pins were crucial this week.
3 times last year.
Those scores means leave makeable spares and make them all.
Round appearances. 4th place, all 3. Bowler's Journal Classic, ITRC Classic, and the Twin Cities Open. 9th time in her career she's been in the championship round. So the win probability at this point, but it's anyone's
Good
match.
shot.
Perfect location.
Very, very
left
good
lane,
shot.
Touches the 1-3 pocket.
Doing a pretty good job managing ball reaction.
The big shot. Right 10 Eastern.
She does have a little bit of an outside-in swing.
It's Candace Parker and the Sky go head-to-head
Gets a
against
swing going to the right
Asia Wilson
and
the
has to
Aces.
tuck it back
Watch it
in.
here.
Nothing wrong with that.
CBS Sports Network. Oops.
I think she could
On the way later tonight.
minimize mistakes a little bit if she were to straighten it out just a pinch, but that's okay.
Imagine the confidence
She obviously does really well.
Shayna's got with those 2 fantastic conversions.
Oh, that was a code X, not a dark code. What was I thinking?
Staying right in
I
the
don't know why I
match.
was thinking it was a dark code.
Could be
Changes everything.
way behind at this point.
Stop.
Works on a spare mid frame. No help on the 9-pin.
Looks like she got that shot in just a little bit. Wasn't
Yeah, it
as
definitely looked
clean as
left.
the previous shot on that lane. But again, ball stopped exactly where she wanted it to. Goes just a little bit high. Didn't quite get it as far right. Used the solid 9.
She and Team Singapore coming over. Direct flight, 19 hours, she told us today. From home city to JFK Airport. I mean, you've flown all over the world. 19 hours, that's a long one. That's a
It
long
is a
ride.
long one.
We asked her today if you watched on movies. She said, no, I slept the whole time.
Yeah.
Slept for 19 hours. And at least you'd land well rested in New York, right?
Yeah, it was 22 when I went, and it wasn't direct.
Yeah, when you fly overseas
First time on
and
TV,
stuff,
first
it is
week
very
in
important
the
to just
US,
sleep as much as
Team
possible
Singapore.
to kind of throw your body off and not know what time it is. Because if you stay up, your body stays adapted to what the old time was. It's hard. Jet lag becomes a real thing.
Trifecta of events on the
People that
island.
travel a lot and they can't sleep on flights, I feel bad for them.
Works on a spare 6th frame. Misses the target.
So left lane that much different where
This is you
she's
see the
got to use
lanes
a
get
different
little
ball?
Tricky, right? They said it didn't take very long. They didn't have a lot of practice on the TV pair. You know, it's paced where we don't want to burn up the lanes too much. So we've changed.
See, that doesn't
a
even
little
get
bit
close
practice.
to like where
But right
Erin's
here, you
was
can
when
see
she
that
two
ball was
pinned.
a little bit more inside, but that's that middle
That one
part of
just
the
never-
lane that was so tricky from
never
lane
got up
to
the
lane,
hill.
not just pair to pair. You had to have steeper angles, but make sure the ball read that middle part of the lane.
Unusual 2-5 leave. But for Shayna, that should be a piece of cake with her conversions. We've seen so far tonight. Fantastic spare shooter. All bowlers unanimous today in our meetings with them how important it would be to cover spares, no matter how difficult. Underway, match 1. U.S. Women's Open from South Glens Falls, New York. Here in upstate Glens Falls, not far from here. South Glens Falls, New York. U.S. Women's Open underway on CBS Sports Network. Here tonight, match number 1, Mcarthy and Ung head-to-head. 2 great spares, CDB for Shayna. Just fantastic to watch. First, the washout.
Hits the left side of the head pin, perfect. Same thing, left side, slides it right over like it had eyes.
Those were huge because Erin has been clean on these very tough lane conditions tonight. She misses both. She might be out of this match. Instead, it's neck and neck. Out of the break, Erin Mcarthy to spawn, looking for help. 9-pin, come on.
Great shot by Erin, especially coming out of that commercial break. One of the other factors that the ladies were talking to me about last night was ball speed. So when that ball was going too long to the middle part of the lane, instead of moving, they slowed up their ball speed to get the ball to read. And it looks like she did that on that shot. Great shot. Almost taps out the 9.
You can tell she's really trying to control her ball
No
reaction,
problem, has that single pin spare
her ball
conversion.
motion down lane, because her hand's normally not that far on top of the ball. But it looks like she's just really trying to
That's what you needed to
kind of
knock
thumb
off
it forward a little
another
bit,
star from
get it
Team
going
Singapore,
forward,
Sherry Tan, to make her 3rd.
just get it to tumble.
On the U.S. Open TV show.
Normally she's more underneath the ball,
The pair of
a little bit
3rd-place
stronger.
finishes so far. That changes tonight. Erin told us today that double to make the show was one of the highlights of her career. Pressure, clutch. Came through. Left lane here for her. Almost crossed over.
It's a good break, not leaving a Greek church there.
Yeah, she didn't like that one when she let it go. I can see in her
Or something,
setup, she
or
seems
any
to be
split.
holding the ball just a little bit lower.
It's always a good break when you throw bad
Definitely
and
did
don't
not
split.
get this ball to the right. You can see, definitely, and I'm looking too because we do this when we don't have the tracers. We have the little dark board down there. It was to the left of it instead of to the right of it. Every time she's gotten it to the right, it's been a better shot.
Watch out.
Ruh-roh.
An open frame. Tough time. 6'10" stand.
Can't be
Game
doing that.
changer. Just like that, Shayna on the bench is up by 9 pins. Well, Erin said the double in the 10th was the most nerve-wracking moment of her career. This was last night. She faces another major challenge in the opening match here tonight. Young
good.
works on a spare 7th frame, ringing 10-pin, really nice shot.
Fantastic shot by Shayna. And I always like watching the shots, especially when they've been sitting a while. But right here, look at, she drops it so smooth and it comes right through, lofting it out just
She's
a
definitely
little
using a
bit,
stronger
like
hand
much
position than
cleaner
what
out of her hands underneath it,
Erin
just
is.
a little bit more. And right here, that smooth motion. Now,
More just as
as they were trying
forward,
to get
but
their ball to
more
stop,
underneath it.
they said last night, you know, we left a lot of ring 10s, but again, the key was spareable.
Got that. Just enough of 10-pin, which, with the other amazing splits and conversions he's had tonight, would seemingly be easy. But you're right, that's the spareable shot. And filling frames with spare, staying clean is the biggest key. This is a grinded out, really tough slugfest type condition.
The U.S. Open is always one of the toughest events of the year. And if you watch the scores from round to round, and then of course in match play, you're going to see that the scores go up and down.
Works on spare. And the
good break.
6-10 stand on the left lane. 1 strike for Shayna NG so far in the match.
You can tell they're
Shayna went back to the ball she originally started with.
very
So now
difficult.
go over and
I feel like
talk
you're
to
bowling
her
in a phone
during the
booth.
break.
You're bowling on the top of a
This left lane seems to be
peak
the
of
lane
a
that's
roof.
switching up the
You get
match
one going
just
just
a
a little bit off the edge over here, and it just kind of falls
Second
off. Get it
appearance
going
US
this way, it
Open
overhooks.
show for Shayna. She finished 3rd in 2016. As we talked about, seeking her first major tonight. Has the 6-10, has her mark.
All right.
Now it's about staying clean this late
Now this
match,
is the
but
important part.
just 6 pins
How
separate these two.
McCarthy rebounds after a poor frame, missing a spare.
Longtime member of Team
Going in at
Singapore,
8th and
easy
9th, setting up
accolades
the 10th
for Shayna,
frame.
two-time Singapore
See how
Sports
she
Woman of the Year.
responds. These are the
Her
moments
team is
that
back on TV
can make or
again,
break you.
winning the season for the points leader on the women's tour, which at this point puts Shannon in the lead for Player of the Year for 3rd time. McCarthy, big strike,
great
right
rebound
lane,
shot.
that badly.
And sometimes for some people, I know for me a lot of times, an open frame can actually loosen you up a little bit.
Career, throwing 7
You know, for me,
consecutive strikes. Jose Rodriguez in the final of the event held
in the
at
beginning
Valley
of
Strike and
competitions and stuff, like if I have an early open frame, it's
Great
like,
memory
okay,
for her.
got that out of the way.
Said to us today, that was
It's either
amazing.
open frame that
Great
loosens
move
me
over
up, or a
2018.
5-bagger
This would be
that loosens me up and gets me
highlight by
moving
far.
in the right direction.
It is so coveted. The green jacket, the huge prize fund. It's the largest on tour this year. 60,000 of the winner. In another close match. Foundation frame.
Ooh, bucket crumbler. That's a huge double right there. But that right there, that's perseverance right there. You come back after a tough frame and frame 7, missing a spare.
Right here, crossing.
Get your butt back up there and throw a double to catch back up.
Can it be a double?
Give yourself a chance.
Here's our first double in the match for either.
It's a good job.
These are incredibly tough conditions. She's been outstanding in close matches. 9th frame. Shayna NG for the response. Got it.
Good shot there.
If you notice on this right lane, both Shayna and Erin were a little bit more direct, a little more ball.
So now basically whatever Shayna
what I was
does,
hearing,
Erin
we're
has
gonna
to
watch this
copy.
right here. We're gonna get into about 16, 17, not getting it right of about 10. High flush, but they were saying they felt like the right lanes were tighter and developed a little more hold quicker than the left lane. But again, you could go to the next pair and it could be the direct opposite.
It's been that tough.
The topography's been crazy, dealing lane to lane
Challenging.
everywhere.
Grueling grind to get this far. 10th frame.
That's so
Late,
rough.
Leaves a 10-pin instead.
Get one out there. Finally hit the pocket on that lane. That's her first shot, I think, that's hit the pocket. Other than that 410.
Another good
Just
shot.
can't get the 10 out.
Again, you had to decide off of these shots right here where this is a little bit of that flat 10. Do I just want to slow up the ball just a little bit, which was the safer thing to do because everyone
Still got to
was
make the
saying
spare.
once you came around
Make the
ball
spare.
just
It forces at
little
least a
bit,
mark,
it
a
overreacted
good count
and
mark out of McCarthy.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
It didn't fall. Shocking miss.
Oh, goodness.
10th
Now you just gave
disastrous
yourself
error.
next to
Shayna
no
NG
chance.
Trying to fill out the 10th frame.
Oh, that's hard to
And now
watch.
Erin Mcarthy on the bench sees an incredible break.
And you very
Feel for her.
rarely see that because the Singapore team is very, very disciplined. They practice.
It's probably one of those spots where
together,
you
travel together.
leave that 10 pin and you're like, oh, I finally
Very
throw a good
unfortunate,
shot over
good
there, and
for
you're just
Erin,
frustrated and
for
you lose
Shayna.
focus just a little bit and
9
end up
pins,
missing
that's
it.
all she needs now.
It's rough.
For the win.
Yeah, so
Tan got the victory
very good shot there.
in match number 1.
Get her off the hook, that's for sure.
To take on Shayna O'Keefe.
New pride.
After the incredible conversions earlier in the match from Shayna NG before the commercial break, and 2 fantastic spares, the single pin spare conversion does her in the 10th frame. Amazing.
And like we see on so many weeks, Erin will be trying a different ball to see what type of look she has. She moved a little bit deeper, got one further right, kicks back to 10, looks great.
The emergency and ICU nurse.
I think that ball, those two bowling balls were real
also,
similar.
As we can see, a fantastic
Ball
bowler.
motion wise.
Quite a career for Erin Mcarthy, and she is through to the next
gonna try a
round to
shock.
take on Shayna O'Keefe, who bids for a 2nd title in 2022. What a match!
All right, so we watched Shayna and Erin there. Now we'll move on for the next video. We'll talk about Erin and Shannon O'Keefe a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what Shannon does. She's another one that likes to power it up a little bit. She gets her hand around it quite a bit, so we'll see what she does to actually control the pocket, and try to figure out exactly where her hand is opposed to where her hand normally is, and see if we can't compare that a little bit. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching this, and we'll see you guys for the next match here probably tomorrow.